45%. Think about that for a second. 45% of popular omega-3 fish oil bottles sitting on supermarket shelves right now are already oxidized and completely rancid before you even break the seal. Independent researchers recently tested 72 of America's top brands, and literally nearly half of them failed. So if you're taking this stuff for your heart or maybe your joints, you might actually be swallowing the exact toxin you're trying to avoid. This is the omega-3 deception. In this explainer, we're treating the supplement aisle like a high-stakes clinical investigation, because we need to uncover the hidden dangers that the biggest brands are completely failing to disclose. Okay, let's dive straight into this, because this is where the medical reality gets, honestly, pretty terrifying. When fish oil meets oxygen, it starts to oxidize. And if you swallow rancid, oxidized oil, it acts like a biological rust. Instead of soothing your joints or protecting your heart, this oxidized lipid slowly corrodes your blood vessels from the inside out. It's actually triggering and feeding the exact severe systemic inflammation you bought the bottle to cure in the first place. To understand exactly why this happens, we have to look at the structural differences. The supplement industry is basically split into two forms. First, there's ethyl ester. It's super cheap to produce, it's highly unstable, your body actually struggles to use it. Second, we have triglyceride. Now, this is the pure form naturally found in fish, and your body absorbs it roughly 70% better. But because triglyceride costs a lot more to manufacture, supermarket brands overwhelmingly use ethyl ester, which basically leaves you with a medically inferior, really poorly absorbed oil. And the deception starts literally right on the front of the bottle. Let's look at Kirkland's Signature, the giant Costco bottle sitting in millions of cabinets right now. You see this massive 1,000 milligrams printed right on the front label. But a quick breakdown reveals that is merely the total weight of the liquid inside the pill. 750 milligrams of that is essentially useless filler. The actual clinical dose, the EPA and DHA that your heart actually needs, is a tiny 250 milligrams. That big number is just a smokescreen hiding a fraction of the actual medicine. Then we have Spring Valley, which is Walmart's house brand. Now, there's this really dangerous myth floating around that house brands are just name brand oils in cheaper packaging. But take a close look at their label. There are 0 published oxidation values, no certificate of analysis anywhere. They don't even disclose if it's the cheap ethyl ester or the premium triglyceride form. For mature patients on a budget, relying on a bottle with absolutely no medical proof is a huge gamble. When you're in the supplement aisle, a company's silence is your answer. And this brilliantly illustrates one of the most insidious tricks in the entire industry: flavored and gummy fish oils, lemon soft gels, orange chewables. I mean, they seem like an easy, friendly option, right? But independent testing repeatedly finds that these carry some of the absolutely highest oxidation levels on the market. Why? Because they bypass your nose's natural warning system. You aren't buying a fresher product. You're buying a product that's chemically engineered to completely mask the metallic stench of biological rust. Next up is Cornell, a heavily advertised brand that promises superior absorption. But impartial, independent lab results from Consumer Reports actually caught their supplement coming up significantly short. Their testing showed it contained only about 83% of its claimed EPA and just 85% of the total omega-3s listed on its own label. Now, the company does dispute this, but when a brand's entire pitch is premium performance, falling short on a basic chemical content test is deeply concerning for any patient relying on an exact daily dose. Which brings us to the terrifying truth about the most trusted brand in America, Nature Made. You've seen it. It sits in your doctor's office, proudly displaying that USP verified mark. But here's the illusion. USP verification confirms the bottle contains the ingredients it claims and is free of heavy contaminants, which, don't get me wrong, is valuable. However, USP completely ignores critical oxidation and freshness levels. You can literally be holding a USP-verified bottle that is actively going rancid on your shelf. Sometimes the most dangerous bottle is the one you trusted so completely that you never even questioned its freshness. Now, what's really interesting about this is the brutal mathematical reality of bargain shopping. Those generic 8-cent ethyl ester pills seem like an absolute steal. But remember, because they are heavily underconcentrated and your body absorbs them roughly 70% worse, you actually have to swallow 5 or 6 of them just to match a single clinical dose. So your 8-cent bargain actually ends up costing you up to 50 cents a day. And that's for the privilege of ingesting the least stable, most highly inflammatory form of oil on the market. So what does this all mean, and how do you actually protect your heart? Well, you use this 15-second freshness protocol before you ever leave the aisle. Step 1, look for an IFOS or NSF certification directly on the label. IFOS specifically test for rancidity, so no seal means nobody checked. Step 2, the label must explicitly say triglyceride form. If it's completely silent on the form, it's cheap ethyl ester. And step 3, ignore that massive font on the front. Turn the bottle around and add the exact EPA and DHA numbers together to find your actual medical dose. Fortunately, there is an antidote to all this madness. While 45% of the aisle is failing, there are clinical-grade options that survive rigorous scrutiny. We're going to look at 3 specific brands that don't hide behind flashy marketing. They actually prove their chemical freshness and concentration right there on the bottle. First up is Sports Research Triple Strength. This is the value answer that frankly embarrasses the generic bargain bottles. In one single soft gel, you are getting over 1,000 milligrams of pure EPA and DHA combined. It's in the premium triglyceride form, and crucially, it is IFOS certified for independent purity and oxidation testing. And get this, it costs around 21 cents a day. It delivers a pure, independently tested clinical dose for literally less than half the real cost of those cheap generics. Now, the crucial point here is how premium manufacturers actively prevent biological rust from the second the oil is processed. Carlson, with their The Very Finest Fish Oil, aggressively fights oxidation using a nitrogen flush during bottling. They literally push oxygen out of the bottle before the oil can ever even begin oxidizing. It's sourced from wild cotton Norwegian fish, it's in the triglyceride form, and it's fully IFO certified. This is really for the patient who understands that preventing rancidity is the absolute highest priority. And finally, we have the #1 choice for doctors and dietitians, Nordic Naturals Ultimate Omega. It delivers a massive triglyceride dose that hits American Heart Association standards directly, but here is the medical mic drop. Patients can literally scan the QR code on the bottle to pull up a full certificate of analysis. You are looking at the exact independent lab report for the specific batch you are holding in your hand. That is the ultimate gold standard, proof over promise. Let's see how all of this builds to the most fundamental safety check you can easily perform at home, the ultimate smell test. High-quality, fresh fish oil is almost completely odorless. If you bite into a capsule or slice it open and it just reeks of a powerful fishy stench, well, that is not a sign of potency. That is rancid oil. It is literally your biology warning you that you're about to swallow systemic inflammation. That odor is telling you the truth that the label hid. Which brings us to the most important medical question you'll ask yourself today. Go look in your medicine cabinet right now. Seriously, what is your daily supplement actually doing to your body? Is it actually reducing your inflammation? Or are you paying a premium to slowly poison your own cardiovascular system with biological rust? Don't just trust the marketing on the front. Demand the proof on the back. Go check your bottle immediately.